Well, 2026 Thomas stuff has finally started to come out. And it's been a real weird, gradual, sorta taking its time build up to it. Randomly, stuff started being released, and it seemed like there was really no rhyme or reason to it. Especially here in America, where some stores would get stuff and some just wouldn't. But the past month or so, they've finally been officially releasing at Targets. So I was keeping an eye out on all the Targets near me. And man, it kinda got to the point where it felt like they'd never come. Because I checked quite a few Targets and there was just nothing. One evening, I checked the Target website and saw what stores it might be near me. Now, I never really check these things because a lot of the times they're not accurate, at least in my experience. But I decided, you know what, I'll trust it this time, and I traveled an hour to a Target. And lo and behold, it was accurate. Funnily enough, I had been to this Target about 2 days before and they had nothing, so these were fresh, with not a single one taken yet. Unfortunately, I came through and took one of everything. It was honestly kinda cool. I mean, we had the 2025 stuff last year and that was fun to get, but this feels like a real true wave of toys. While I definitely have my problems with this reboot, it's just kind of exciting. I mean, it looks like Thomas, kinda. It was really crazy coming home with a giant Thomas playset and 2 Target bags full of just Thomas diecasts. I figured it'd be fun to do a simple little unboxing video, and give you guys my live reactions to getting these first in hand. Without further ado, let's open up some toy trains. First up is, of course, Thomas. Now, I'm actually not going to unbox this, for a reason that'll quickly make sense. But I'm going to use this time to talk about the boxes, and talk about just how much of an improvement they are. For reference, here is what the Thomas boxes looked like before this year. This is the 2025 Thomas, and it's so small compared. It's very short, and they kind of took the space, outward instead of inward, making it taller. And as such, the trains would be so, small there. Thomas is completely cut off. That's just pretty much his front and his smoke box and his face. Really not a great packaging, and then you can barely see the background. It's very blurry. So I really appreciate the packaging on these ones. Even though the designs are I think it's just such a better package overall. The character is clearly visible, and it's great. It's appealing. It pops out in a store. I think this just blue-white thing just doesn't really work. Alright, enough messing around. Let's actually unbox a thing. So the reason I didn't unbox Thomas is because I got the Thomas and Annie 2-pack. And it's pretty much the exact same Thomas, so I'd rather keep this one for my wall and actually unbox this one. And yeah, without further ado, let's unbox the first 2026 diecast. It kind of sucks. I will say I really am not a fan of how you have to destroy the packaging, but that's been a thing for ever at this point. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, so here's Thomas. He's out of focus. Okay. There we go. I'll try and hold him here, I guess. Yeah. It's definitely it's better than how Thomas looked before. Actually I can bring in a 2025 Thomas. And you can maybe debate and argue between these two, but it's not like they had this on shelves for very long. But yeah. It's definitely a solid Thomas model. I think my biggest problem with it is probably the big gap that's between his wheels and the running board. Yeah, not really a fan of that. But yeah, I think it's solid, I like how the handrails here are actually molded. They're not just printed on, they're physically molded on top. It's not like that's some mistake like the Bachmann Thomas. Everything else is still painted the way it should be, but these are actually molded. Cool little detail. I do wish the whistle was like separately fitted like it was on the 2025 engines. But yeah, Thomas is solid. Like, just like I said, biggest thing is the fact that there's like this huge space that they left. But I can tell the reason they did that is because they didn't want the magnet to be like so like high up on him, so that way they could have his dip down. Like usually, like before 2025, all Thomas merch pretty much had. Let me show you with a take along. Like all these diecast Thomas would have just a flush, like they all had the same, just a slight dip, and it was on both sides because every engine shared the same running board. So I'm glad this exists, honestly. It's cool, it's a cool little thing. And let's talk about Annie, who is... she's all plastic. Annie was actually one of the first ones that ever got revealed, like right alongside Gordon, which may have been like one of the 2 worst characters to ever debut live, because I'm really not a fan of Greyface Annie, and Clarabelle too. I mean, I think it was inevitable that this would happen, but yeah, I don't know, it looks strange. I mean, in toy form, I think it looks whatever, but I don't know, in live action form, it's like, her face sits so far out. I feel like if someone ran into Annie, they're just gonna like damage her face because it's like extended. I am really not a fan of how they decided to sell Annie without Clarabelle. So in wave 2 or 3, I believe wave 2, they're gonna sell pretty much this pack, but it's Percy and Clarabelle. And that just kind of sucks because it means I have to get 2 Percys and I have 2 Thomases. While it doesn't really bother me because I can have this Thomas right away and put this other one on the wall, Percy, I want to unbox now, so I'm just going to have 2 Percys lying around. I could wait and be patient, but I don't want to. We're going to go in a kind of crazy order. Let's look at the engine that was one of the first to be looked at ever by anyone. Gordon. Now, like I said with Annie, I think Gordon was probably one of the worst choices they could have revealed in toy form, because his toy has like a very look to it. And also, on his packaging here, they gave his little, I don't know what you call those, I forget what you call them, splashers? No, those are splashers. And what's this? I don't know. But anyways, these things are red, which is a very, like, toy-looking thing, even though they're black on the toy. But, apparently, I believe they are coloring these the correct way in future waves. So this packaging is kind of rare, I guess. But, I'm gonna open it because, I don't know. Mistakes with Mattel are kind of like a dime a dozen, so kind of lost its specialty. But yeah, let's unbox him. Okay. Oh. Hello. Alright. Here's Gordon. Wowzers. What's up, Huz? Or whatever he says. I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with Gordon, not gonna lie. I'm not a fan of the face. It looks kind of stupid. Like, Gordon doesn't have, like, one of the worst, like, face changes, but this face they chose for the toy is just, like, it's not really how it looks on the box. You know what I mean? It is, but it, like, isn't. I don't know, it's strange. So I always wonder, I think the tenders are permanently attached. Yeah. And I think that's a welcome change, honestly. Like, I get sometimes it's fun to play, like, tender without the engine. You can do a story like, oh, the engine's lost its tender, or something like that. But, I don't know. I kind of prefer them staying together, because the majority of the time, you do have the engine with its tender. Yeah, he's a pretty solid model. I do like the fact they gave the bigger engines bogies now. I think that's really neat. He also has the correct amount of wheels, which is the first time ever for a, like, mainstream diecast Gordon. Because back on the take-along, they'd only give you the, one of the front driving wheels. But yeah, there's a hair on him already. That's nice. Gordon also has the separately molded handrails, which I think is cool. Although it doesn't carry over on the tender. Like, that's completely smooth, just a print. There's also a little bit of discoloration between tender and engine. Like, it's just a slightly darker blue, which, I don't know, not really a fan of. It's kind of noticeable. Don't know. I do wish they gave him, like, a longer front running board. Like, on Gordon himself, it's very much like, you know, there's a bit of space there from face to the buffers. Like, he's kind of, like, necking it with his buffer. Like, I think his nose sticks out wider than his buffer beam does. Like, maybe. I don't know, I can't. Oh, hello. Like, you know. I mean, the magnet kind of hides it, but... You see what I mean? Kind of odd. Huh. But cool. Like, I think this is such a right step in the right direction for the tender engines. Like, last year with how Henry looked, that was just yuck. I did not care for that. But, cool. Gordon. Alright, let's do Percy. I don't know why. I'm going in a, like, whatever order. It's called the Wee Ball order. And that's, like, official. Oh, okay. Ow. What's up, Huz? Or wait, what's this one? Is this one the... Oh, I thought I just... I looked at his face and like, oh crap, did I dent it falling? But like, I forgot. Percy has like this weird, like, dimple, like, right on his face. If I can maybe focus on it up close, or... I can't. Okay. Well, oh, crap. Okay. Yeah, you can kind of see there. He has the little dimple on his little face. Yeah, Percy's solid. I kind of prefer the look of the anniversary Percy from last year. I feel like it does the roundness of the boiler a little bit better. I know I shouldn't really, like, compare the old toys, because, like, oh, it's based on the old show, but I mean... That's just Percy with a different face. Like, come on. I mean, there's like some differences, but like it's the same thing. But yeah, I do like Percy. He's a decent one. I feel like I'm gonna be a broken record mentioning the face, but the face kind of bothers me. But yeah, I guess I won't mention that. Yeah, Percy's a good one. He's all right. I like him. He's cool, you know? Percy. Let's continue with the main cast trio, I guess. I don't know. Here's Rosie, who I gotta hold really far away because I changed how this works, but whatever. You see the box? It's good. Alright, let's open it. Oh crap, why is she hard to open? Okay, there we go. I won't drop her this time. Rosie, who's a main character now, which is cool. Rosie is a pretty solid model here. The face, I shouldn't mention the face. Yeah, she is missing her boiler bands, which I shouldn't have thrown in the box. I need to look at the box. I'm pretty sure she has boiler bands in the actual show. Does she? Wait, does she? I have no clue. Someone pull up an image. But anyways, I think the only thing wrong with Rosie is that she's a little bit short. Which I can bring up a character like Percy, and he kind of, you know, he's got like some, not in inches, because it's his toys, but like, he's got some height on her, you know? I don't know why she got so, like, short. Like, her funnel's still nice and tall, which is a compliment considering how they did some of the other engines. I do like her molded detail here, like, it's not just a blank back, like, they actually, like, did, like, I don't know what you call that, the intrusion, the out extrusion there. And then you have the lamp, which I think, yeah, all the engines have molded lamps on their back. At least the tank engines do. But yeah, she's cool. She's nice. I do think they should have had like a gold molding here to kind of break up the design a little bit, because she kind of blends in to be like a red blob of sorts. But yeah. Other than that, she fine. Let's stick with the color red, and let's look at James, who is just had the absolute worst face treatment. Like, this does not look like James at all. And I know it's like a reboot and all, but like this, it doesn't even look like a good face. Like, there's so much like nose to lip like, space there. It's so strange. I'm not a fan of that. So, okay, wait, before I open it, actually, I want to talk about this. Like, James, the design of him, I know these are all, like, it's so weird. We don't know for sure if these are, like, prototype drawings or, like, just concept art. Like, these could totally just be concept art. Like, the fact that, like, there's just, like, miscoloration areas around them, like, makes me think that. But what's interesting about James is just how, like, the red, or not red here, the yellow here, stop focusing on my hand. The yellow there is, like, yellow. It's not gold, like James is typically gold, and the toy is gold. But his concept render, or whatever this is, just isn't. It looks like McDonald's, you know? Like James looks like a McDonald's in this. He also has gray wheels, which did carry over into the toy itself. So that's like a, you know, Bachman early take-along reference, I guess. Man, this is such a disappointing engine. I don't even want to unbox this, but okay. Why am I so weak? Why can't I unbox anything? Yuck. Yeah. Alright. Cool. James. From a side view, he looks pretty great. Like, I'm so glad they gave James his own unique length. And the only thing I'd have against his side profile is the fact his tender is so long. Like, his tender is supposed to be, like, bit shorter than Gordon Henry tenders. But, you know, it's fine. I mean, typically in all the other diecasts they made, I guess this is like retribution, I guess, because usually in all the other old diecast lines, every tender engine had a James length tender when it should be longer. So I guess it's fair now that we have a James with a longer tender length. So everyone else is fine, but now James looks blah. Alright, I don't want to turn this model. Oh, I'll turn it this way, though. I do think they could have given him, like, a big open cab. I don't know, did they do that with Gordon? I don't think they did it, no. Yeah, they didn't do an open cab. I feel like they definitely could have done an open cab. I mean, not like there's, like, people figures to put in, but I don't know. Open cabs are cool. Like, that was always such a cool thing about, like, take-along and take-and-play to me. Yeah, I feel like his dome is very, like, kind of a muted color. I'm kind of bashing on James hard, but I'm just gonna cover that up. You know, I really would, because James is like a favorite of mine, so kind of jammed a tender connection there. But yeah, James is a favorite of mine, so it kind of hurts that his face just looks like that, like nothing at all from anything, I guess. Shoot, he looks like I'm looking at this, it's like he has Edward's face. Like, I know they may have Edward, who's not out yet, but, like, this looks like Edward to me. Like, I'm looking at this in person. Like, that is just Edward. This is not James. It's so strange. I think the theory going around is that he has they changed his nose. Because, like, otherwise, like, if you gave him his nose, this would pretty much look like James. Like, this would be one of the most, like, accurate character face changes. But I think the theory is that they changed his nose so that way all the big engines, like, Gordon, James, Henry could have the same nose. And it's like a thing, I guess. I guess they're going nose coding. I don't know. There's some weird stuff going on. I don't understand it. No one does. No one understands anything. But yeah. That's James. For, like, no reason at all, let's do Toby next. Actually, I can think of a reason. I don't like Toby either. Yikes. Hello? And neither does the camera, because he has a very ill-defined face. How far back do I gotta hold on? What the hell? Alright, let's unbox Toby, I guess. Ugh. That face is so, like... It's like a... I don't know. I really don't know. Ow. Oh, I haven't even dropped him yet. I can't say ow yet. Ow. Toby, oh Toby. Oh, Toby. So, if I do this, Toby looks pretty good. You know? It's a solid Toby. Toby's kind of a hard character to get wrong, you know? He's a kind of a brick on wheels. He is all plastic, though, so that's strange. I don't know why for these brick characters they went all plastic. That's like an odd choice. Like, just make him diecast? His roof is also backwards, which is really strange. Like, what are they going for here? Did they just make a mistake? I don't know. And unfortunately, he's bolted in, like all these toys are, so you can't easily fix him. Anyways, let's talk about the bottom of Toby. For some reason, they just didn't make him a proper tram engine. They gave him the front cow catcher and the back cow catcher, but they didn't do his sides. I'm pretty sure from the box he does have his sides, but he just doesn't in real life, I guess. And this would have been so simple. Like, there's enough clearance space here. Those are, like, thin enough. Like, all engines go Toby did this, man. Like, come on. Just, oh my gosh. I also would have preferred it all be gray than red. Yeah, Toby's a real disappointer. Like, come on. It was so simple. Like, a lot of these I look at, and it's like, okay, they're a little bit better in person. Like, I was not really a fan of Percy. Then I got Percy in person, and holding him, I'm like, wow, he's actually, like, pretty decent. Toby is worse. Like, I'm looking at this, like, it's worse. It's like, the fact you can see Toby's wheels just feels like I have a broken Toby, you know? It doesn't feel right at all. It's just the fact it was so simple, and they just didn't do it. And the fact they did do it right, like, what, 2 years ago? Like, what the heck? Man, I don't know. Alright, I need a bit of a palate cleanse. Let's do Henry. Henry was definitely my most anticipated. Mostly because of how disappointing 2025 Henry was, like I said earlier. It's real cool that they're doing Henry. It seems like Henry's actually going to be a part of a show, maybe. Just maybe. I don't know if these toys are indicative at all of the show. And, oh crap, I don't think we will know until, like, I don't know, September, if anything even comes out by then. But yeah, I was real excited to get Henry. Let's get him out of the box. Oh my gosh. Hello. And I am a big fan of how they decided to make the tender engines one unit. Like, I kind of like that you can just shake them around. Like, it's not like Ertl where they were, like, glued, like, straight and they're, like, were like a rod you could beat people with, but yeah, I like this. Though I do wish they were taller. It's the only thing. Kind of looks like Bachman Henry. But yeah, Henry's a solid one. I'm honestly, this isn't a toy problem because I'm pretty sure this is going to be a thing in the show. I'm not really a fan of the fact that they made Henry a dark green. Like, I don't know, I would prefer Henry be, like, Percy colored. Like, I get why they did it completely, because it's, like, to differentiate the characters, but yeah, wish they kept him his original color. I don't know. I mean, it worked for, like, the past 40 years, so yeah, I don't know. Henry has one of the faces that's actually pretty decent, you know? It's alright. It's still got, like, a weird little look to it. Like, he's kind of got, like, a weird smugness with the cocked up eyebrow. And the irises look kind of freaky. Like, he's really just staring into me there, you know? Like, hey, it's me, Henry. But yeah, I quite like Henry. But I also quite like the Troublesome Truck, or Wagon Farceur. Wagon Farceur. Yeah, that. I think it's really cool that they have a generic Troublesome Truck ready to go in Wave 1. So you can actually, like, build a railway with these. This is something that if I see 2 of in stores, I'll definitely pick up another one, because I like having a lot of trucks. But yeah, let's open him up. Oh. Ow. Troublesome. I quite like this. It's a cool little wagon. I do kind of wish they chose a different default color than yellow. Like, I don't know, I would have preferred, like, even blue or something. Like how Take Along had a blue truck. But, it's fine. I definitely didn't expect them to ever do gray. But yeah, I'd love to get more trucks. These are fun. I'm glad they actually realized that they should put troublesome trucks in things and not just, you know, generic mine hopper car. My biggest hope for the show is that the trucks are actually villains. Like I said earlier, I don't know if the show and toys are going to be, like, coherent with each other, but I'm hoping we get to see the trucks in action, as I think that's far more interesting than, like, the steamy diesel plotline. Skadoosh. Oh, I missed. Skibow. Alright, that's cool. They connect up pretty well. I'm glad they actually, like, hided? What? I'm glad they actually, like, scaled the truck correctly. Like, with the All Engines Go truck, he was so ginormous. He was pretty much the size of, like, a Trackmaster. And then also with the truck that existed before that, those were, like, huge trucks. So I'm glad they actually did it right this time. I do think they're a bit long. Like, I think I could have maybe preferred if they make them just, like, a tad bit shorter. Like, I'm pretty sure... Oh, crap. I guess I was gonna say, like, oh, they're longer than Percy, but... They're actually just a little bit shorter. I don't know, I feel like it could have gone even a little bit shorter. But honestly, looking at it in person up close now, I'm kind of like, oh, it doesn't look too bad, actually. Plus, you can store, like, cargo inside. I do wish it came with cargo, though. I'll say that. I kind of think they should have cargo with all the trucks. Like, removable cargo. But, you know, that'd be cool. Ah, well. Speaking of troublesome things that are also, like, devious, let's do Diesel. Although, honestly, thinking about it now, Diesel might not be a bad guy in the show, because he wasn't in All Engines Go. He's just kind of a jerk in that, I think. I don't know, I didn't really watch that. But, yeah, Diesel. I think it's pretty safe to say Diesel's going to be a main character for probably the rest of Thomas. I think that was solidified with All Engines Go and started in, like, the Brenner era. And also, you know, the Hit era, where he was kind of the main villain. But, yeah, he's a main character now, who is an ally. Ooh. His face is given, like, super DreamWorks face there with the cocked up eyebrow. Like, I can see this on, like, the poster of Megamind or something. But, yeah, let's get into Diesel. Seriously, why am I having a hard time sometimes? Okay, he didn't fall because I caught him. But yeah, Diesel. I'm not really a fan of the red running board, although it definitely reminds me of Take Along. I also don't really get why they made the roof plastic. It's not like a huge discoloration, because I mean, it is like black, so you don't really notice. But yeah. I also am not a fan of the gray wheels. Again, it's kind of like, why are they gray? At least with Diesel, it's like, whatever, but I don't know, there's too much, like, color going on his bottom there. Face is, like, 1-to-1 with the box. Like, that's the DreamWorks face, alright. I think he's also a little too short. Like, I think he's kind of short compared to, like, someone like Thomas. Yeah, like, a bit of distance there between the two. Yeah, just a little bit. Not a lot, but I don't know, he looks really, like, squashed together. Because even someone like, I think Toby and him are actually the same length. Yeah, oh, Toby's a bit shorter, which is accurate. Toby is a very, like, short in length character. But, yeah, I would have preferred a bit of a longer Diesel. Probably, like, Rosie length, because Rosie's pretty long. Yeah. I think if they just gave him that extra little bit of length, they would have really brought it together. But, ah, well. Alright, let's wrap the engines on a good note. I messed that up, but I'm not going to redo it. Let's end on a pretty good note. I redid it. I just said I wasn't going to redo it. What am I doing? Let's end the engines on a pretty high note. Oliver and Toad. I think it's absolutely crazy that they decided to release these as a part of Wave 1. Like, you'd think they release, like, someone like Emily or maybe even Edward before they do Oliver and Toad in their Wave 1 of engines. But yeah, this is one I'm probably considering getting a second copy of to put on my wall. Mostly because I don't think the toys are indicative of the show, so I think this might be the only time we get Oliver and Toad. And they're cool, they're one of the ones I think have a fine face change. Except for Toad, I'm not really a fan of Toad's. It's really squished. But Oliver's alright. I just gave myself a paper cut. Ow. Okay, let's open it. I'm really hoping I can find another one of these. I know these two are like the most popular versions they made, but... Whew. Yeah. Oliver and Toad. Seriously, it's so cool they decided to make these as part of Wave 1. It's sick. Let's look at Oliver first. He's a really good one. He's got like separately molded like safety valve here. That's cool. Yeah. I don't mind the color green they went. I mean, I think they should have kept the same because it's like Great Western Railway, but I don't think they know that. My biggest flaw with Oliver would be the fact that this wheel's not smaller. I think the reason they didn't do that is because the creators probably didn't know that this wheel's smaller, because Oliver's driving trailing wheel, or whatever you call that, just is very not that small. And I think they would reserve the smaller wheels for things like bogies and tenders, like on the tender engines here. Like, you only see the small wheels on the front bogies and the backs, like here, with the tenders. But yeah, there's not really any smaller wheels, at least that I remember, of what's out now. I'm glad they gave Oliver his big-ass funnel here. It's kind of silly looking, but I mean, I think it's pretty much the CGI Oliver model with, you know, this face. But yeah, Oliver is a solid one. I'm a big fan of him. I'm so glad they decided to make him. It's Oliver. He's cool, you know? And let's look at his little buddy Toad. Again, the fact they made Toad too is just crazy. I do think his color is just a little bit... Why am I moving so fast? I do think his color is just a little bit muted, like too muted. Like, it's almost a black. Which I know in like the Railway series, Toad was painted black. I don't know, I do prefer the lighter gray Toad. I don't know, he's kind of like a friendly character, and I think like making him light gray suits him better. Which I guess in the Railway series, he doesn't really do much, and the one thing he does do is, you know, kill someone. I don't know. It would be cool to see. But after all, we don't know how Toad's going to be in the show. Or if he's ever going to be in the show. Who knows what'll happen. But yeah, I'm glad these guys retained their detail. Like, they got the GWR, they got their numbers. It's neat, you know? Like, yeah, was not expecting that. I'm excited to get Duck, although I think he's all plastic up top, which doesn't look great, and neither does the face. But, I'll still get him. They also didn't make him consistently colored with Oliver, so that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, Oliver's a great one. I like him. Alright, let's cap this off by talking about the big old Tidmouth Sheds playset. Now, conceptually, I think the idea for this set is a really solid one. I think with all the Thomas reboots, not a lot of them have done the sets very well, and I don't think this is a perfect set by any means, but I think it's a solid idea to have a set that has Tidmouth Sheds, the windmill, and a bridge. It kind of reminds me of when Trackmaster first launched and they had like the RC Thomas set that had Tidmouth Sheds in it. While this does not hold a candle at all to that original set, I think conceptually, this one's pretty alright. And look, it even has Harold in it. Now, like the others, I'm gonna open this up live, and we'll see how this goes. Alright, I'm not exactly sure, but I think on the back here, as these little, like, cutouts you can, like, open it up with. So I think I'll do that. Okay. Not really, it's kind of an awkward angle with the camera. Okay, yeah, so it flips, like, right up, which I think this is decent packaging. Alright. Cool. So this is what you're greeted to when you first open up the box. Pretty much all just in there. Like, I kind of thought this would all be, like, compartmentalized, but no, you got everything just straight up. I feel like a lot of sets in the past have been, like, you know, a lot of, like, cardboard would be inside and stuff. Uh-huh. Cool. I immediately noticed this bag. What is in here? Oh, like, the people figures and switches. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna take out everything, I guess. So we got, ooh, big, like, colored instruction manual. Huh. Cool. And it was sealed in. It's kind of hard to get out, because I think this base is, like, this is all Tidmouth Sheds. Okay. There we go. Cool. turntable with spinning action, I guess. Alright. We got our windmill, which is actually a pretty nice looking piece. Oh. Neat. It's like... That's like... Actually does some wind. Huh. Got another Thomas-themed bag with a track adapter. I'm glad they're actually doing track adapters. That's neat. Got the bridge. The roof, I think? Yeah, the roof to the sheds. Helipad. Shed parts. Yeah, cool. Neat. What I think I'll do is I'll, like, unbox it and put it together. And it'll be like a little, like, time-lapse. So right now. Alright, so I got this all assembled, and it wasn't too hard. There's a couple parts, though, that I'm kinda on. Especially getting stuff to, like, snap in together. It was really hard to get, like, the turntable to fit in properly. You had to just, like, force it down. I also was not a fan of the stickers at all. I kinda wasn't expecting those. The new track system is interesting. I think it's an improvement from the Trackmaster 2 track. This one doesn't hurt my fingers as much. But it's still, like, not that perfect of a track system. It's kind of hard to, like, get into place. You still have, like, the act of, like, snapping something in. I definitely think this new track feels, like, really babyish. Does that make sense? Like, I know Thomas is in fact a kid's show, but it's like this track feels, like, so big and so, like, in your face with, like, oh yeah, circle goes into circle hole. Like, I just feel like this is, like, a step so far in baby direction. Like, I'm looking at this and just, like, it looks like a baby toy. Like, you could, like, use, you know, any Thomas track from any of the other ranges for the most part, and, like, it's like, oh, it's definitely a toy train system, and it is, like, a kid's toy, but, like, it feels like, I don't know, it feels like I could see it as a toy for, like, any kid, like, ages, like, 1 to, you know, like, 10. I don't know, to me, this track, with it all being, like, colored, I know track has been colored for a while, but, like, this is all, like, exclusively, like, bright, like, colors. Like, to me, this feels babyish. But, yeah. Now I'm gonna play with the toy. Oops, but I forgot all about the toy trains inside, or the toy train and toy helicopter. I gotta cut these guys out because they're, like, strapped up top. Yeah. Okay. Alright. So, interestingly, about this version of Thomas, is that for the first time, well, actually, it's really stuck. All this string is, like, really, it's, like, wrapped around his wheels. Huh. Okay, let me get that off. But what's interesting about this Thomas is that he's all plastic, which is very similar to the Pixar Cars toys, as in their playsets they have plastic vehicles instead of the standard, like, diecast that they're compatible with. In my opinion, I'm not that big of a fan of the fact they made them plastic. I think it's interesting, though. Like, I think it's kind of cool there is a plastic version of the diecast toy. Although I definitely think this is the lesser of the two. Like, I don't really like how big the rivets are, and also all the all the detailing is, like, three-dimensional. Like, you can, like, feel the line and the one and the rivets. The handlebars, or the what do you call those? The handlebars. What are these? The bars. Those are still 3D. But yeah, otherwise it's like this. It's a carbon copy of Thomas, but it's plastic. Now, I think I would have preferred, like, a variant, even if it's a plastic one. I feel like in most of those car sets, it is a variant you're getting. Another difference, though, is that these are actually, like, screwed in instead of bolted in. Let me bring in the diecast Thomas. Yeah, you can tell. They're very similar. Like, you wouldn't know they're plastic. Like, a lot of people did not... No one picked up that this was plastic until it, like, officially came out at, like, some random store. But, yeah. So, difference is that it's bolted. And, well, the diecast is bolted. The plastic is screwed in. So, you could take this apart, make your amalgamation custom, I guess. But, yeah. Interesting. I'm on the rails. Huh. Now let's look at the other character, who I had the option to buy the diecast version of in stores. I did see him, but I had absolutely no interest at all, because it's Harold, and they gave Harold quite the rebrand. He's kind of looking like Harold Kirk here. He just... yeah. I do like how all the bits are rotatable. I think that's been on every Herald, at least in the diecast world. But yeah, this just... yikes. I wasn't a fan when All Engines Go gave Harold a gray face, and I'm still not a fan here, and it just looks even worse. Just does not really look like Harold to me. This could be like a completely new character, and it'd be like, yep, I believe you. So I'll start off with the little drawbridge here. Now, my first initial thing to do was put Thomas on the bridge and then send him flying down, like so. But it's very tight, so when I do that, it just kind of launches Thomas. So it's not really, like, flush with the whole, like, bridge set here. Like, it doesn't, like, you have to, like, push it down. You can't just, like, you can't, like, lever it all the way down. Because I feel like this lever is going to, like, snap off. I feel like when you see this on, like, Facebook Marketplace in, like, 3 years from now, you'll always see it, like, the bridge lever snapped off. But, yeah. So, it's also got, like, a little roadway bit underneath. Like I said, he does that. But it's weird that they didn't include any roadway characters in this. I mean, literally on the box, they include an image of Diesel going under this, because I imagine this was made before they had Birdie out. So, just kind of a weird feature. And they got that also with the roadway bit over here. Like, this is a second roadway bit, but, like, there's no cars for the trains to interact with. There is Kirk the helicopter, but he's a helicopter. He just will fly. So, I don't know why there's so much emphasis on the road here. Another thing, just to round off that segment about the road, is even on, like, the windmill. The windmill has, like, a little spot for cargo here, and it literally has two, like, images of cars, like, in these little slots. But it's like, there is no cars in this set. That makes 3 whole things. Maybe even 4. I feel like you could maybe argue 4 with, like, this whole, like, hella shed under here. Because Harold's supposed to go on top, and you got, like, a little, like, ramp into there. I was like, that's supposed to be another car shed? Why are there, like... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things for cars in this set, when this set does not come with any cars at all. It's really baffling. So let's take a look at the windmill bit. So you bring your engine over here, and they, like, go up this little ramp, and then they sit on the red thing. And you gotta push them down to make the windmill... Hello? What on earth? Okay, it reset. Yeah, so you push it down, then the engine does that. It doesn't really... I think you have to move it on its own? Okay, you have to, like, spin it backwards, and then it'll, like, pop back up. I don't know if the instruction manual here really says anything about that. Yeah, there's really nothing on here that... Yeah. Huh. That's odd. Also, while I have the instruction manual, straight up it tells you, just like, yeah, use your trains as cars. Go in the car park right by the windmill. Like, come on, man. It's not cars. Now, looking at the sheds here, the front at least, you bring the engine up to the turntable. It's kind of like a rised, like, turntable here. And it's really tall. I know it's kind of like a common thing in Thomas merch to have the really tall, like, guards here. This is, like, super tall. It's taller than the engines. But, yeah, you bring them in, set them down, then you got 2 knobs here with directional arrows. The knobs don't, really, I don't know if you really need them. I mean, I guess you do, but I don't know. They're turnable, which is weird, even though they don't turn to anything. But yeah, the turntable pretty much snaps to pretty much where you want it to go, which can shake the engine quite a little bit. Cool. But yeah, you bring it to where you want it to go, and you kick them in. So you're coming back here, and it's kind of like a little like workshop area. We've seen this before in Thomas Toys. I remember like the red wooden railway like sheds they made was like one of those. There's also like little like launch features, like you flip these up and you can launch your engine out onto the turntable. But yeah, I gotta get them back now. We also got this little like separate area here, and this is like a little like scissor lift thing, or well, I don't know. You know, you set it up there, and then you kind of like show your engine, and you shake this dude around, and it's like, oh, he's fixing him up with his little wrench. He's fixing the wheels. You know. Ow. I don't know why. I feel like it's very not good that it doesn't have, like, more than 3 berths. I mean, there's always like, oh, what if in the new show there's only 3 berths? 1, I doubt that. 2, it's kind of just stupid. I don't know. I feel like 5 was always, like, such a perfect number. That's another thing with this set, is that you only have Thomas, and then, of course, you got him. And you don't have other engines to play with, or any rolling stock to pull around. So all you can really do is do this, like, Tidmouth Sheds stuff. And I know we're in the modern day world, and, like, they don't just sell individual toys that, you know, give you everything in one go. You gotta go buy multiple things and get those sale number up. But, yeah, I don't know. Kind of a whatever set. I don't really... I got this because I kind of just wanted to. But I think under any other circumstance, I probably just wouldn't have, because it doesn't really add much to, like, the world. It doesn't really give you anything other than a plastic Thomas and a plastic Harold. Frankly, I am not really a fan of this set. I think there's a lot to be desired, and honestly, I don't think I'm going to pursue any more of the sets if these kind of stay the same level of quality. And so far what we've seen, nothing really appeals to me. I'll still get the new engines just to have. I mean, I'm already this far, but yeah. Oh well, here's my patrons. Thank you to the Joe Swansons, Aquamarina, Forgotten Lol Cow, Gingerboy20, Low, and the Goat Train. Well, I hope you enjoyed this funny little quick little video of me opening up some toy trains. This was pretty spur of the moment. I wanted to like capture my live reactions to this new wave of Thomas. Maybe it'll last forever, maybe it'll last like 2 years. We'll see. Well, thanks for watching. More stuff on the way. Bye!